Next year is an absolutely pivotal year for our country. It's an election year, and it's the chance that people have to pass judgment on the government that we've had for 12 years and to say whether they want to go in a different direction with a new government. On my Cameron Direct journey, I've been all over the country. It's an old-fashioned town hall meeting. No speeches, no long introductions, just me standing in front of an audience of local people. Anyone can come and they can ask whatever question they like.
I want to be able to listen to David Cameron, see what he's going to say, and see whether I would vote for him.
I'm very much a floating voter. Yeah, I did vote in Tony Blair because I thought Tony was new, he was fresh. I'm rather hoping to see what David's going to do for us.
I'm considering Conservative partly because I feel that I didn't vote for Gordon Brown. I don't think he's done a particularly good job, and I'm looking for an alternative.
Sir, what will you do to help our troops in Afghanistan?
First is to recognise that we need more helicopters in Helmand Province now. We have just 20 or so in Helmand, and yet the British Army as a whole has around 500 helicopters. The second and the most important thing I think we can do is focusing on how, in the future, we can deny this country to the terrorists without having our troops on its soil. So the answer is to build up the Afghan National Army, because that, in the end, is going to be our way of bringing our boys back home. All sorts of people come to Cameron Direct meetings, but tonight there are a couple of people coming along with a particular concern about the closure of local services in their communities.
In the small village we live in, we've already lost our post office. We could have lost our village pub, but another businessman has taken it on.
I'm the chairman of an action group in Battersea Coed which has saved the local memorial hall. I'd like to hear from David that there is going to be a certain amount of autonomy, that we can run these things, because we don't need central government or even local government overly involved.
You remember the right to buy, where people had the right to buy their council house? What we want to do is introduce the community right to buy, where the community has the first right of refusal. If there's a village hall closing, if there's some public building closing, the community should have the first chance to buy it off that government organisation and to run it for the community on a not-for-profit basis. So this community right to buy that we had introduced would kind of take the red tape out of it and enable communities to come together and get hold of a really good community asset that they can make something of. I think people have become really disillusioned with politics, particularly in the light of the expenses thing. And Cameron Direct is a small attempt to do something about that. And I don't try and tell people what they want to hear, I try and tell people what I think we need to hear.
How are you going to restore people's faith in politicians? How are you going to get them out there to vote for you? Because people are disillusioned at the moment and they don't know who to vote for, and that's the truth.
The two things I'm working hardest at, one is direct communication, making sure that we are talking to people as directly as we can. The second thing, I think, for building confidence is I think we have to tell people the tough stuff. A couple of hard years are coming, and then we'll get through it and things will be better. And telling people that, it may not enthuse them and make them rush down to the polling station and vote Conservative with glee, but I think it will at least get people saying, well, at least these guys are giving it to me straight. I want to try and win this election on a prospectus of telling people, yes, it will be quite difficult, but we will come through it, we're still a great country, and then we'll go on and do great things. Thank you very much.
If he does these policies and he does stick to what he says, then there will be a difference, and that will be a good difference for Britain.
The country is in a mess at the moment, and we do need help, especially with money and the economic crisis at the moment, and I think Conservative are the right people to lead us out.
This function today has actually changed my vote, and the Tories will get my vote.
I get the impression that what he says he means, and that's very important.
We want to look at the future. Who's going to take us forward? This country, I want to see great back in Great Britain, I do. And there's only one man going to do that. That's Mr. Cameron.